When you set up an account in NFL.com, it'll be with your email and whatever password that you establish. When you open up and sign into your account, you will see this page first. Feel free to complete the profile as required. But once that's all done, go up to Fantasy, and you'll see a note as to the name of your team and league and team. Go to League and scroll down. Go to your team. In this case, I'm Grandpa's Growlers. And you'll see the rankings, or you'll see the Edit Pre-Draft Rankings list. Click on that. And then you'll see how I've already gone in and ranked all the players I want to draft in a certain order. So I'm giving you a clue what I'm coming after first, but I'm the league manager. If you click on each one of these tabs, you'll find out who is the top quarterbacks. You'll find out who are the top running backs. You'll find out who are the top receivers, so on and so forth. In any event, I want to edit how I'm going to select this. So I edit overall pre-rank. And when you open it up, I've already done it, but when you open it up, you're going to have a list of 50 selections here. And when you have those 50 selections, I've loaded all those selections that it recommends. But Aaron Rodgers was the 50th pick. So obviously I want to go after Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady and Deshaun Watson, all the top quarterbacks right away. So Aaron Rodgers was in spot number 50, way down at the bottom of the list, way down below. And so the way you move him up is to grab him and just move the list around. Now you're going to want quarterbacks and running backs and wide receivers and tight ends and a defense and a kicker. And you're going to want several selections because remember there'll be 10 of us selecting. Some of you will be auto-selecting. The computer will select for you, but it will be based on this list or on the list that the computer chooses. So in this case, I've gone in and pulled everyone over. Now, the way to pull someone over, when you see your list, that shows you information about the person. But when you see your list, let me go back. When you see your list, you're going to want to highlight it and then move them over. Then what you'll see, if you go to the bottom, you'll see that LeSean McCoy was moved over. Now, I don't want LeSean, even in my list. And so that's why you saw him move back by doing this. And you'll see that LeSean McCoy is back in the list. LeSean's not a bad running back, but the offensive line for the Buffalo Bills really sucks this year. So you're taking a risk with anybody on the Buffalo Bills. In any event, that's how you move people over. You select the one that you want and then do this. And after you're done, after you move, and I originally moved all 50 people over, then eliminated some that you can see here. And then I went and I ordered by the ranking here for the most part. Now there's some exception. For example, Deshaun Watson is expected to have a higher ranking than Aaron Rodgers. I'm just more comfortable with the history of the two here, so that was one exception I made. But other than that, I pretty much have stayed, with one or two exceptions, stayed with the ranking of the power rating here. This is the power rating, right? And where you see an exception is perhaps where I've had some sort of information or injury or whatever. For example, Alshon Jeffrey was on the list, and he had a relatively high ranking for a wide receiver, and but he's also having some injury problems at the moment. Anyway, so move over your players, then rank order them the way that you want them. Make sure that you put them in quarterback style. This doesn't mean that this is how you have to select on September 4th at 8 o'clock Central Time, but what will happen is that the computer will select from this list for you. And once it selects its two quarterbacks, then it will move on to its running backs. But you will always have if you're going to participate in the live draft, you have the option to always come down and click whoever you want to be chosen, even above Aaron Rodgers. If I decide that I want to go to Todd Gurley and have a running back before Aaron Rodgers, I can select on Todd Gurley during the active live draft on Tuesday. Anyway, so now let's say they got my list. Now I have told you that you will have 50 over here in this column, which I moved all those over and then took some off. But you can have more than 50 players selected, and I'm doing that just so that I can go through and rank order them. And if you want to find a player, you can just go in and type that player's name. For example, let's say I want to find another defense. So if I type in the Broncos, you'll see that the Broncos defense there. And if I click on it, the Broncos defense will be added to the bottom of my list. And if we go back and check, you'll see that's the case. Now, I don't really want the Broncos defense there because I've already selected like the Minnesota Vikings and some others that you'll see here as you go up the list as part of my choice. Now, I'll take that off in a minute here. And anyway, you always want to save, because if you go take a look at some information and you have this list all filled out and you didn't save, you're going to lose your list. Now, let's say that I don't remember who's who. So I'm going to go back up here to my rankings page, and I'm going to find out, let's say I want to look for a kicker. You'll see that it tells me the top kickers here. Let's say that I want to look for wide receiver. It shows me all the top ranked wide receivers in the expectation. Be a little careful. Notice that sometimes like AJ Green is 148 and these just don't necessarily follow in the order that you would want them. So always be careful about just going from the top of the list down. There's also other places on the page that will tell you who's the top 5 are, of each category. But I'll leave that for you to find yourself. The defenses, you come in here, the defenses, you can find their power ratings and find out. I think the Jaguars are number 1, maybe. Nope, the Vikings are number 1. That's a recent change. And you'll just see some different things of that nature. So anyway, so if you want to edit overall pre-rank, just go there. You'll find your settings, and you can just play with them, and I'm going to play with them up until the day of the draft. I hope this is helpful.